Why hello there everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. So today we are going on a whistle stop tour of my unfinished autumn Colin Crossing core, town core, cozy island. I am so excited to kind of show you guys how all of the speed builds which we've been doing over the last couple of months all connect, and yeah, I'm gonna also show you guys the areas which aren't finished and let you know kind of what my plans are for those areas. Stick around to the end of the video, or also just look in the description down below because I am going to be dropping my DA in this video. Last year I did a video called my 2020 island tour, and this video is pretty much going to be my 2021 island tour. I will never ever have a completed and finished island. This is pretty much as good as you guys are probably gonna get, probably as good as I'm gonna get as well. So yeah, that is where we are at today. I can't wait to show you guys around my island, and let's just get into the video. So if you are looking for maybe a tiny bit more context as to why I'm filming this video now, I definitely direct you guys to go and check out last week's video, which I have linked in the cards and down below, as that will just give you a little bit more context where I'm at with Animal Crossing at the moment and all that good stuff. But for now, I don't think there is a better place to start than my island entrance. So here we go. As you can see, I've got the yellow airport, which I'm fine with. I've never really cared enough to want to restart because of that. And as you can see, we come off of the dock onto sort of this little like train tracks right here. I will have as many of the custom design codes linked below as I can, so definitely check that out. And if I've missed any, please let me know. So sort of surrounding the tracks are these 4 orange trees, and I've got these here because oranges are my town fruit. And I've always liked to sort of memorialize that and celebrate that a little bit. So yeah, as we come up here, we've got the orange trees, we've got the train tracks, and then we come in to this little sort of mini plaza, I guess, sort of welcome area question mark. I always like having benches near my town entrance just in case I'm doing Nookazon videos or anything like that which requires waiting around for people, so it's good to just have a place to plonk myself down while I'm waiting for people to arrive. So yeah, these sort of square areas you will probably notice quite a lot. I think they match so well with the Colin Crossing paths and generally this town core style, so I can't wait to change all the decorations for winter. I hope to maybe make it slightly less bare because I feel like around the edges it's looking a little bit empty, but I don't know, we'll see what happens when we get around to winter, I guess. Over to the left of this area is just a giant empty space. I've never 100% known what to do with this area. I might maybe move Antonio here, I'm sort of thinking, but again, I'm just gonna have to see where the mood strikes when I decide what I want to do with this area. So coming down here to the other side of my island entrance, we actually have Stitches' house. I went for a jungle core sort of design for his house exterior, and this is a house which, as I mentioned in last week's video, I haven't touched since I started redesigning my island, and I think that for quite a while I probably won't. I'm very happy with it. I think that it matches the very fun colors of his house. I tried to get lots of, flowers and even a little palm tree up on the cliff there to sort of blend it all together, and I'm fairly happy with it. I definitely need to get a couple more custom designs to go on the ground because I overrode question mark the ones which I had down here originally. So yeah, that is Stitches' house. We're gonna save the absolute trash pit, which is the other side of the river, for later in this video. But let's head on over back to the main, the entrance plaza, I guess. You're going to see this bridge here, and heading over here we have Nook's Cranny and Kiki's house, but again we'll circle back around to that in a little while because I'm more interested in heading to the right of my entrance plaza because These are sort of two very mini areas, which I did not do on camera. And if you're wanting to see the process of any of these speed builds more or less much more in depth, I'm going to link the playlist which has all of the builds that I've done, just so you guys can sort of see the process and sort of my thoughts behind all of the builds a little bit more in depth than what we're going to be doing in this video. So anyway, these two mini areas right here, this one and this one here, were ones which were gonna be in a video which just never ended up happening, but I'm glad that I got them done anyway. This area is a teeny tiny little pub which I did. This is my second player house, Peach. I haven't really done much of the interior of the house other than the sort of like pub builds, which I did again like last winter, so I haven't really touched the inside of that. Again, maybe I'll get around to that at some point, but for now it's just a very cozy, quaint outdoor sort of pub area. We've got a little refuse area back here with a bin, which I love hiding bins all over my island. It's so handy and helpful. So yeah, we've got the little pub just here, and as we continue, this is the area which sort of started it all for my Colin Crossing core cozy fall island. This was the first speed build that I did in this new style, and it is, I think, still maybe one of my favorite areas on my island. I mean, maybe not 100%, just because as I've got a bit more used to working in this style, I've definitely got a bit more comfortable and started implementing a few more sort of decorations and stuff like that along with it. But this is definitely one of my favorite areas, and I think that in the autumn it looks absolutely stunning. So this is the main sort of plaza of my resident services park right here. Oh, we've got Molly chilling here. If you visit my DA, none of my beaches will be decorated because I never know what to do with them. And as we're over here, might as well just quickly show you the Starbucks Costa Coffee hybrid undescript cafe that we've got right here. This was sort of just a little weird area which I didn't 100% know what to do with, but I was very happy with how it turned out. So yeah, we got the wee cafe just here, and as we come over to this other teeny tiny little area, we have a little train station, or more what is meant to be kind of connecting to the tracks of the not the resident services, of the island entrance, which is just on the other side of this right here. So because of the fact that along this line is a custom design for like the bottom bit of the curb of the path, if that makes sense, I didn't 100% know what to do because I wanted to put more weeds along the back there if I could, but I couldn't. So this again might just be another area which I come back and visit later in time. So as we continue up this area in my resident services park, we sort of have this little central tree area right here, and then two little stalls, which are two seasonal areas which I'll definitely be swapping out for winter. We have a little pumpkin carving area just here, and then a sort of mini apple stall produce market question mark. I think it's mainly meant to be an apple stall because I put the little thing there, I guess, for like mulled wine or maybe hot cider or something like that, but I'm still so happy with how this area turned out. I remember one of the first ever pictures that I took using the mailbox trick was of this little area because I loved it so much. So that's that just there. We've got a tiny little bit of decorated beach up there, but that's been on my island for so long that it's just sort of part of the furniture at the moment. So I've left it there for now. And then as we come out of the resident services park, we have my little Able Sisters area, and I loved using these, like this pattern that I've got right here, because I thought it matched so well with the default patterns which are on the loom and this stand just here. For this little picnic area, I thought it was really cute to imagine Mabel or Sable coming out here and, you know, just chilling and reading a magazine while they maybe, you know, do a bit of sewing or, you know, stuff like that. So, and also a little swing hidden back here. I love how just full this area looks with all the trees and everything behind it. So I was super happy with how this area turned out. This sort of middle walkway up here was very much so inspired by Figment ACNH's island. I did a tour of their island a while ago, which I really loved, so definitely go check that out if you want inspiration for panel buildings, especially because there were so many on that island. It was incredible, but they sort of had quite a few of these walkways between buildings heading up to different levels of that island, so this was sort of a massive inspiration for how to divide up the space just here. But to the left of the walkway, we have Marina's house just here. It's quite a teeny tiny little garden, but I was again just really happy with how it turned out. And as you can see, we sort of have a mini hidden sort of backyard back there, which was inspired by Colin Crossing's island, because he has loads of these little sort of hidden backyards, which I really loved. So I made sure to put one back there for Marina's house. It might, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the sort of main one that I did for my island. Oh, actually, I'm telling a lie, because right up here we have the spooky neighborhood that I did for we've got Matilda over here, Roscoe in the back, and Nan over here. This is, I think, maybe one of the most photogenic places on my island, question mark. So again, as you can see, I use this sort of central square kind of plaza, town square sort of area design, but I tried changing up the design and the kind of decoration for the middle part. So I was so happy that I got to use the spooky tree somewhere, because integrating that in my island was something which I was struggling with, which was really frustrating, because I know that I really wanted to use that item somewhere on my island. So this is what I settled with, and I will be sad when I have to change it for winter, but I'm still excited to see what I can come up with. So yeah, we've got Matilda's house over here. Again, just very small, quite simple yards. We've got sort of, because I wanted to make this the spooky neighborhood, because all of the houses have got these sort of moody exteriors. I, you know, made sure to go ham with the pumpkins and the spooky decorations. So I also love the way that the fences are layered just here, and then you've got the trees peeking up behind it. Like, sometimes you've just got to, you know, pat yourself on the back a little bit when you do things that you're proud of. So we then have Roscoe's house up here. I sort of wanted to make it a little bit more grungy, you know. He's doing a bit of yard work or garden work. He's got his wheelbarrow and stuff like that. This is sort of a little hidden area back there with the well. You can't access it, but it was mainly to sort of fill out the back a little bit, because I love how full areas look, especially when you really pack it with trees. So before we head up that secret little path just there, let's just take a look at Nan's house. Again, it's very, very simple, not too much to write home about, but again, I'm happy with it. So let's now head up the secret little path that we got back here. And this is another one of the unfinished areas. I wanted to, back closer to Halloween, this was actually going to be the third sort of small area idea, which was going to go alongside the pub and the little train station, which I showed you guys earlier. And this was the area which really sort of put that video idea to rest, because, I mean, excuse the pun, because this was going to be a graveyard. So this area is so strangely shaped that I just couldn't wrap my head around how to decorate it in a way that I was happy with. So for now, we've just got the statue chilling here, and as again I showed in last week's video, this was where I plonked loads of trees which I didn't know what to do with, or which I'll use to decorate with at some point. Moving on, we have Hazel's house just here, and this sort of marks the start of the more cottagecore / farm core area, which for me is it's not necessarily where I feel most at home. I very much so like more naturey areas, and so I was so happy with how I was able to sort of integrate this sort of design with, you know, the more like town core areas that we have just here. So again, this is the side of Nan's house, and we will enter my big farm right here. We've got all of the new crops. We've got a pumpkin farm, but we have a much bigger one just down the hill, which I'll show you guys in a second. But yeah, we've got all of the crops, and then a little greenhouse, which I need to update with a few new items which I've come across, which were introduced in the 2.0 update, so I need to do that soon. We then also have my outdoor kitchen, which, as excited as I was for it, I haven't really adventured into cooking in this game all that much just yet. But to be honest, I haven't really been playing the game all that much anyway. So we then have my little outdoor crafting and outdoor storage area just here, which this is my new favorite item in the entire game, hands down. I love it. It's so handy. As you can see, I have one also in my pockets just so that I can carry it around and drop it wherever I need it. And as we continue down this little back path, just got another wheelie bin, and then this path actually leads to my secret beach. So very, very handy, you know, not that like checking for red every day is really all that much of an issue anymore, but still, this ramp has been here for so long that I just felt like keeping it, to be honest. And all of this area to the side is my campsite, as you can see just there, which we will get around to in a minute. I'm not going to show you guys the inside of my house because it's not done. You're more than welcome to check it out, of course, but that's definitely something which I'm going to be decorating more in the future. So let's head away from my house, and here we have the campsite. Now, this design for my campsite is one which has probably been on my island as long as the placement of my museum, so well over a year, well over before I adopted this new Colin Crossing core, you know, like aesthetic, but I liked it so much that I couldn't get rid of it. So it definitely needs updating and a bit more decorating and generally a little bit of tidying up, but I'm so happy with it. I love how the flowers that I originally placed just sort of went a bit wild. We've got like the hilltop fishing pond up here, which this might be the only pond on my island. I'm not 100% sure, but this sort of integration between this area and this area definitely needs to be worked on, but for now, meh, I'm okay with it. As we head down the hill, we enter the fruit orchard, which is right behind Kiki's house. So I spent an ungodly amount of Nook Mile tickets and bells on Kiki's house right before Halloween, and I don't regret it one bit because while I, like the rest of my villagers, don't really talk to her, she's very cute and I love the outside of her house. So yeah, we've got Kiki's yard, which is considerably bigger than quite a lot of my other villagers, but yeah, the back of her house leads to the orchard, which I made sure, as I sort of mentioned in that speed build video, that this area back here was mainly kept for practical reasons. So if I ever need to harvest any wood or fruit, then this is where I'll go, because this sounds stupid, but I feel bad shaking fruit off other trees that I've used for decoration, but oh well. So that's why I built this area right here. Then we have the massive pumpkin farm, which, to be honest, is mainly for aesthetics than for functionality, but of course it can be used functionally too. But because it's got quite a lot of other decorations in, I can imagine it might get a little bit fiddly to try and pick out all the pumpkins without accidentally picking up any of the items or plucking any of the flowers. So yeah, this is the giant pumpkin farm, which is Kiki's. I remember straight after I did the speed build, I got a super cute video of her just like smelling some of the flowers over here, which was really cute. This area up here, as you can see, is undecorated, and that's because I'm probably most definitely going to be moving Molly up here at some point and sort of maybe using it as sort of a little wood chopping area again, because we're right next to the trees and the farm. I thought it'd be cute to sort of have a couple of log stumps and all of that stuff around here, but again, that is for another video. Now, before we cross the river, I wanted to show you Nook's Cranny, which, as you can see, we're back here at my island entrance. So we have Nook's Cranny just here, and this might be one of my favorite views on my whole island. With the trees behind it, it looks so sort of small town and cozy, and I love it. And it's just sort of mysterious, you know, with the pine trees in the front. It's giving me slightly witchy vibes, and I'm obsessed. We have this little brick area right opposite it. This is actually one of the only areas where I use the in-game paths, and I once again was very inspired by Colin Crossing in building this area, because after I'd sort of mapped out where I wanted the buildings to go, I had this awkward little area, and on Colin Crossing's island, he had this big bricked area. So I thought it integrated really well with the orange colors and sort of with the shop in the background as well. It doesn't have too much function. It's mainly for decoration. We've got a little crafting bench back there and sort of, I can imagine like a little soup making area just here is what the idea was there. So just a sort of another little decorative plaza area right there. And with that, more or less concludes all of the areas of my island, which are complete. So what I'm going to show you guys now are the incomplete / hardly touched areas of my island. Once again, we're crossing through one of those right now as we pass Stitch's house and head over the river. This area is more or less one of the last areas that I was decorating before I decided to change my island theme. And as you can see, it's become my flower storage area, which I decorated, well, which I organized rather in my video that I did last week, and where I've been hiding all of my shrubs as I've been wanting to pull from them to decorate. We still have Maddie and Antonio's house chilling here, so because their houses are sort of this rounded shape, it doesn't 100% fit my island aesthetic. So that's something that I'm struggling with as to where to put them, but we'll figure it out. We have Molly's house down here, which I just kind of parked her here just because I needed to move her house out the way, but I had Anka's house here for a very, very long time. Again, I've got a very old speed build of me building Anka's house, but she is no longer on my island. I had to, you know, get rid of her to make room for Kiki, and it was well worth it. So we have lots of pine trees down here just because I needed to grow some more. So I'm glad that I have a little stash of them for when I do eventually get around to decorating this area. Now you're going to see a lot of unfinished pathing just here, and that is because we are getting to my museum. Now, this is as far as I got with building my museum exterior, and it's an area which, again, I talked about it in last week's video. I'm so dedicated rather to doing justice and to just being happy with the overall design of it, that I sort of just left it at this point and haven't really gone back to it since. So this area with the not the fountain, but with the waterfall and then my museum up here with the trees behind it has been on my island for so long, and I love it so much. Just over this hill we've got the campsite back there. As you can see, it's totally overgrown, which I definitely want to preserve while also working in these town core, like more urban, I guess, elements with like the paths and everything. So I'm working on it and I'll get around to it eventually. But what my sort of general plan for this area is to have these sort of paths being surrounding sort of, I guess, little exhibits, because I want this to be sort of like the museum flower garden, I guess, which is why I've saved so many of my flowers. And I know I won't be using all of them. I've saved some of them in case I ever want them for decorating or whatever. But I want to try and have one of every single type of flower in the game in this garden, which is what I had in this area before, which I built, you know, back in lockdown in 2020, ages ago. So yeah, I want to sort of reinstate that area, and I'll get around to it eventually when I feel inspired, and I'm sort of trying to stop pressuring myself to be doing builds or whatever. But saying that, I've been so excited to film this video today so that I can start decorating for winter. So that's that. And then as we head up here, we sort of have this slightly awkward area. I'm planning to put a little bridge over to where, as you can see, we have Kiki's pumpkin farm and where Molly's house will be. So I'm gonna have a wee bridge here if I can fit one. Oh, please tell me that I can get back over. Thank you. And just sort of like a little hidden seating area over here, I guess. I don't know, I haven't 100% figured it out, but that, I think, is just about it. That is my entire island for now. It's completely unfinished, and I am happy with that, and I'm so happy with the areas that are already done. But that's just the nature of this game. We're coming out of autumn, and now it's time to change up my island for winter. So that's where I'm at, and stay tuned for next week's video when you'll see me starting to decorate my island for Christmas and winter and everything, and I'm so excited. So yeah. So yes guys, that is my island tour for 2021. My island is unfinished, it is not perfect, and I love it. I'm so happy with this new style that I've adopted so far, and who knows, when we do my island tour in 2022, my island could look entirely different, who knows. Once again, if you'd like to see sort of any more details about any of the speed builds which you saw in this video, I definitely recommend you go check out that playlist, which I'll have linked, because it is going to have sort of much more information on all of the builds that I've done so far. This was just to sort of show you guys how everything's connecting so far. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you'd like to get to know me better as well as some of the other amazing folks in this community, feel free to join the Discord, the link to which is down in the description below. If you have any comments or suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Duh, I'd love to hear from you. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll see you again soon.